Okay.
Are we going? We're going. Good morning. This is the meeting of the Public Health and Safety Standing Committee of Tuesday, November 25th. Thank you for the minutes. And, oh, sure, they look good to me.
I need...
Okay, we'll give you a few minutes there.
Okay, yes, I don't... Do you have a hard copy by chance?
I do.
Of the minutes? I'm so
Oh, maybe
sorry.
not. No, I don't.
Ooh, okay. Do you have a hard
I didn't
copy?
bring my phone, so I
yeah,
don't...
me either. Okay, it's in the car, though, but I can wait. Can we move that to the end?
We will move that to the end.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I'm so sorry about that.
Hi, Chief.
Hello.
We miss you when you're not here.
I know, I
It's been a
think,
couple weeks.
it was, what was the last one? It was a holiday, so I wasn't at work that day.
Or
Oh,
you
right.
were,
Yep.
you were in
November
high
11th.
school or something for,
And then I was at the high school a couple Tuesdays before that for career day.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay, well, let's hear some updates.
Yeah, so I did send out my call numbers to, Lonnie, the mayor, and, Danae. And were you guys providing copies of that, or no?
I think they're in that.
I think we got them.
You did? Okay.
Yep, we,
They always...
I usually print them out, but I don't have them.
It's the
That's
holidays.
okay. It was-
Anything exciting or new?
It was, I guess, fairly normal, nothing of serious note.
Online, by the way.
Yeah,
Every month too, so
Oh,
if you
great.
ever miss a copy of it, those are online.
That's good.
yep,
I like that.
yeah, same story this month, we're staying busy. It doesn't, obviously, it's a little bit slower call volume wise, however, it's not like winter time back in like 2008 or 9, it's just, calls have picked up, so.
It looks like we had some tourists in town this last, until yesterday.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah,
our
that's
calls
decent.
recently, I mean, like, they're not really tourist related. They're just,
Local,
yeah,
local related.
yeah, like local here and then within the county and stuff like that. Another thing I was gonna bring up too is, after the government opened back up, Danae hit me with the good news that we were awarded the full amount of the grant for an additional officer to,
and what's the full amount?
125,000,
120.
Wow.
Spread over 3 years, but your commitment's 4 years.
commitments 4 years, yep.
Yep, so,
And it's heavy the first year, something like 60,000 the first year.
Yep, so our commitment to the position needs to increase over the 3 years, so it's grant heavy at the beginning and,
Gets a little lighter towards the end and then disappears.
yep, then the
Gone
last
by
year
year
we have
4.
to sustain the position for
What's
1
that?
year.
Yeah, gone by year 4,
Yes.
local matches, 40, year 1, 67, year 2, 89, year 3, and then, 198 in year 4.
Okay, well then,
Where are you reading that?
out of curiosity,
That was provided to the school board.
it's right,
by-
it's in this MOU, I think, isn't it in the MOU?
Yeah, it's in the MOU, yeah, last page of the MOU.
That's awesome.
So have any of our regular police officers applied?
I haven't opened the position up yet. We're still currently in correspondence with the school and everything about how
How it's gonna work?
they and we wish to proceed, see if we can find some.
Well, we all got that. It's between John Fitzgerald and the mayor, I think,
The
Yeah.
MOU?
we got some,
So we have 90 days total to, get a completed MOU over to the COPS hiring, grant. So we have to have that in 60 days now because the first 30 days the government was shut down. So now we have 60 days to fulfill our MOU requirement for the grant.
that's
So
interesting,
everybody-
they shut down, but we're being punished by 30 days.
Isn't that nice?
Hello,
They didn't
welcome to
extend it?
government.
Yeah.
The real question is, what's the deadline?
So, the deadline, prefer we not wait until the full 60 days just because, we do need to upload that and get that over to them and technology. So preferably at the very beginning of January would be the latest that we get.
Well, they reopened November 11th, so it's till January 11th? Okay, all right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's around October 15th is when we were awarded, I believe. So it will be 90 days after that.
Okay.
Okay.
Just get it done early January.
So we have tonight for city council and then one in December. And then in January, we have our regular city council with one newbie.
Yeah, and then, but if I recall, the correspondence between John and the mayor, John Fitzgerald and the mayor, there was a dispute about how much the city had, the school had to kick in. So we've got to, tackle that
More
thing before we can.
Well, let's look at the, MOU. Did everybody have a chance to read through it?
I read through it, but I
Did you have any,
brought the wrong clipboard.
comments?
Well, that was the thing that struck me, was that there's some dispute about, how much the school wants to kick in.
From what was originally sent to
Yeah, well-
what?
And apparently they're judging it by Columbus and Bridger?
No, we have, MOUs that we have copies of from Columbus PD and Yellowstone County Sheriff's Office that they have with similar sized school districts. And
Okay,
the standard amount is $40,000, and that's
regardless of percentage.
correct. And that's what we're looking at as well, because that's the cost of a new teacher. So that's what we would pay a first-year teacher. So there's we're looking at it from that perspective.
So they determine it, that a teacher's the same as a FRO?
From a law school standpoint, we're not willing to pay more for this position than we would for a first-year teacher, correct?
I remember reading that.
And would
yeah.
that be the first year, see how it works, and then perhaps if it really ends up being better than one expected, would it go up the second year and third year?
That's something that's up for debate. We haven't had a chance to, we just got the MOU at our board meeting on Wednesday.
Okay,
So as the full board, we haven't had a chance to fully discuss everything. Back from our original conversations, we had expressed that our interest was up to 40,000. And so this one here, it does say that you guys are asking us for 75% of the full commitment. So what you're asking for there is 75% in year one, 75% year two, year three, and then year four. I just did some numbers this morning before it came down. By year four, that person would be the highest paid person in our school district. That's not acceptable from our perspective of paying more for that position than we would for a superintendent or a principal or anything else. Not saying anything about value, but our job is to, take care of our schools. So that's where we're not saying we're not willing to pay more potentially, based on, cost of increase, cost of living, those kinds of things. But as it's written now, the 75%, that's not
gonna fly.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
When you're talking about wages, are you talking about an hourly wage, or are you talking about a loaded wage where benefits are considered and everything?
We're talking about a financial commitment of $40,000 to go towards that position. As of right now, we have not had a chance to discuss this fully as the full open board, but as of right now, the take-home pay for a first-year teacher in the Red Lodge School District is roughly $39,000. So we're willing to go to $40,000.
and the second year, does the teacher's salary goes up?
There's some increases in there, and that's what we have to compare that to our master agreement with the union.
So it could be comparable to someone who has more.
There's definitely some possibility.
It doesn't have to be the same the second year because they're no longer a first-year teacher.
It depends on the thing, and I have to consult the master agreement.
Okay. And,
So like the numbers that we have in that MOU, the one thing that's really important to understand is that is a loaded wage. So that's the cost to the city, including
benefits?
benefits. We are required to pay a significant amount of retirement for an officer. It's vastly different than a teacher or a full employee. So those are the numbers that I have provided because that is the commitment overall that we have to make. And so it does include everything that the city would have to provide to that position. It doesn't include anything like the vehicle, equipment, or anything like that to maintain the position. The city and the MOU had agreed to take over those costs. So that is just the salary of the position. benefits, retirement,
I guess-
healthcare, and that is an estimated wage because unfortunately, we don't know if they're gonna have a family that we have to provide benefits for. So that is possible. And we don't know what increases in wages we're going to have to give them over the course of 3 to 4 years, because again, we're a union as well. So they can negotiate at any time to increase their wages more than the standard 3% or 4% COLA. So that, and we don't know how much benefits will increase. Like last year, I think our benefits increased, like medical went up 10 or 12%. Significant. So that was me being more conservative so that we had accurate numbers to, you know, make a sound judgment on. So it's very possible that those numbers are high and that they can go down.
The $40,000 is what percentage of an officer's salary is that?
Year one, the salary would be $102,000, almost $103,000.
So what is it, about 60%? Come on, numbers, people.
You're looking at about 30% at that point.
About 30%? Is the school district willing to have the SRO there 30% of the time?
That's something we're up for discussion on, so.
I mean, that's kind of where it goes, this is what you're paying for, and this is how much time.
Well, and I guess at that point, it would be a philosophical discussion of what is an SRO in our community.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a discussion that we have not had fully yet.
And I want to make sure that the school board understands it's not a cop in school. A resource officer is a lot more than a police officer. And
Absolutely.
the city will have to pay extra for training
Mhm.
for that resource officer. I mean, there are so many benefits to it that it far outweighs any kind of monetary type thing.
And that's another thing, speaking on that, like, they're obviously, as a district, have to make commitments to their teachers for continued education. And maybe that's where maybe we do a certain amount towards salary and then the school pitches in more towards training or equipment or things like that. So, I mean, those are all things that could potentially shift within the MOU.
You know, we're talking about philosophy and what an SRO is. It's pretty standard across the board. One of the biggest misconceptions about an SRO is that it's, you know, from the untrained eye looking from the outside in, is that it's pretty much a direct pipeline to our community's youth into the criminal justice system, which is very far from the truth. Yeah, it's, I think the biggest reason why an SRO would be beneficial, I mean, like, obviously, being able to tell if there's problems at home, stuff like that, but the number one paramount issue I see is schools being soft targets in child and staff safety, in-service training for the teachers, the staff, everything like that. That's like the number one issue. That's why I want an officer in the school. This is something I've been talking about since day one.
Does the school currently have an emergency plan for, okay.
And after our last meeting, we did extend the offer, the open doors. Please come in, meet with us, have your officers come in.
And
we haven't seen that yet. I'm just going to be blunt. We haven't seen that yet. So we are committed, and it was part of our, this last bond, we said it's part of our continuing efforts to improve our district. We're improving the hard facility infrastructure with security. We're in conversations for this. We agree in those regards, and we do want to pursue this, but we have to do what's right by our taxpayers and our families and our students. And right now, you know, the financials is a big hang-up based on this MOU right now.
okay, did we write this MOU? Where did we get this? We wrote it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, and again, we had I think, maybe 3 days, if that, to write this MOU. So,
So I won't mention the 2 typos.
yep. And, yeah, if there's typos in there, absolutely let us know, but.
Minor.
The mayor wanted that to be presented to the school board as quickly as possible so that we can start sitting down and talking about what we can do to make it work.
Correct.
So that was just mentioned in the past, the 75-25. That's based on the timeframe that officer will be in the school versus when the city or our department will utilize them in the summer months. And so that's just based off of initial discussions on what we anticipate being able to utilize the officer for the city versus for the school. But that doesn't mean that that's our sticking point. That was just the beginning,
Of negotiations.
Yeah, we needed something in there, we need to get the ball rolling on it. So now, yes, we need to sit down with the school board, and really just fine tune everything, get that changed. The school board hasn't had the opportunity to make any changes in that MOU at all. So,
When is it dated?
And we have our first
Dated?
work session meeting for this plan on December
We
3rd.
don't have a date yet.
What time is that, Matt?
That is 6 p.m., I believe.
Oh, that's Parks Board for me. That's Wednesday night.
We do Wednesdays. So
Yeah.
our next one is, our work session for this is, December 3rd, 6 p.m. at the middle school complex.
December 3rd?
December 3rd.
We can certainly have a conversation too, in what context you want the police officers prior to an SRO program, what you want them doing in the schools. I was very, very involved with the drug education program for years in the school. If you want me to show up, have lunch with the students, if you'd like me to walk around, if you'd like me to do an education program for the students relating to drugs or drinking and driving, more than happy to do that.
Yeah, and that was, we had those discussions last time, and we look forward to continuing that.
So Chief, did you have a chance to look over this MOU?
Yeah, I sat down with Tanae and looked at it.
So besides the money and the amount of time the officer is actually on campus,
Yeah.
did you have any other concerns?
No concerns, and I'll just say, if it's the school kicking in 30% of an officer's salary, I'm not gonna sit here and say the school only gets police officer 30% of the time. That's gonna be their primary focus, right? So and I'm not saying they're gonna be in there full-time, but, you know, if you're an SRO, that your primary responsibility is the school. That's just how it works.
Well, the other thing that I noticed is that it's also for after-school activities.
100%, yeah.
So, you know, that's above and beyond how much time they spend in the school.
Correct.
So, obviously, when football's going or,
Mhm.
you know, I guess there's always
There's always something going on.
something going on.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we should, in the MOU, break it down and say how much is in the school during a regular school day versus, you know, after school.
Well, and I guess I would look at that from the standpoint of, I'm hearing this as I'm taking off my school board hat and thinking about it as a parent. We, as a citizen of Red Lodge, right, I want police patrol hearing events, right?
Right.
If there's a high school football game, there's a lot of people at the high school. If there's a concert at the middle school, there's a lot of people there. As a citizen of the school, of the town, I would just assume that there's going to be roving police patrols through there, and that's not considered an additive duty. So now if we were to say, hey, we want a dedicated person here, yeah, that would be considered an
Because
additive
it's a
duty.
Hardin game.
So, with that,
Because it's with Hardin.
you know, whatever it
You
might
know,
be,
every
know.
year we hear that.
But also at the same time, I'd say when we do tournaments, you know, basketball tournaments, volleyball tournaments, anything like that, anytime we have a concentration of people coming into town, if we have a concentration of people coming into town as a taxpayer of the town, I would assume that police would be making a roving patrol up there. So I
But
don't
not
want to see,
there.
I don't want to see us, I guess from my perspective, I don't want to see us bogging down. I just, you know, I mentioned the cost from the standpoint of, we don't want this to die because we're saying we can't pay 75%. So that's where we're coming from a board, is we're saying, as we read it, that 75% is a huge, it's too big of a burden for us. We don't want it to die because of that. I don't want it to die because of, oh, well, we need you to be here at this. We don't want it to, if you look at the other MOUs, they're more, they're less rigid, I would say. The one with Columbus is very brief. The one with Yellowstone County is more comparable, but there's less language as well. It does seem to be more fluid. It gives more opportunity between the school and the SRO and the chief of police to build a program that, instead of saying, like, according to this MOU, you will be at 20% of the ball games, you will be at, 20% of graduations, you will be at, they don't do that. It's more of a fluid, dynamic structure, which allows for more opportunity for the police and the administrators to come up with a working system.
That would be an impossibility anyways, to dedicate a percentage of time to certain
Yeah.
events and stuff like that. Because I'll just say, I mean, like, looking at the county's SRO program, which is, I mean, it's a lot of responsibility for one deputy to handle calls, issues, like, we're talking like Roberts, Fromberg, Joliet, Luther, and
Great.
what am I
There's one more.
missing? What am I missing? Not Bridger, because they have their own police.
Bridger has their own.
Okay, Belfry?
Ah, yeah, very nice.
Good job.
Okay. So I mean, like, with, on
Yeah.
top of all of that, if there's a juvenile-related call for service that does not take place within the school doors, that also falls under the responsibility of their school resource officer to investigate, whether that's juvenile drug use, domestic violence, sex crimes, stuff like that. It would normally go to a patrol officer, they would take it, they would do an initial on it, and then they would kick it over to the SRO. And then he determines on the severity of the crime, whether it goes to detectives or he works it himself. So, I mean, like, it's not just, again, not just football games, not just school, not just walking the hallways, it's like drug use at home, drug endangered children, they're working that case themselves too. So.
There's like the MOU doesn't break down the amount of time that
Right.
is specific to the school or the city. It specifically was breaking down like monetary costs. But, there are some things in the MOU, the way that it stands right now, and the reason it is a little bit more rigorous is because we have a requirement for grants.
I was gonna say, we
Um,
should look at
Yeah,
that.
so
the grant
there's certain things that are in there specific to duties that the grant requires, and
Okay.
that's why it's kind of laid out like that. So,
Okay.
just
Should
wanted to
look
note
at
on that.
that. Do we
So
have-
I'm
we have
a
a grant?
schedule guy too, and I'll personally, I will volunteer my own time to go into the schools, do trainings with classes and stuff like that with the students. One thing, if we're being blunt, there was an ALICE training that I was made aware of back in, I believe it was August or September. That I was more than willing to go to. I didn't get a definitive date, and then the day of, I was in Minnesota getting a call from the school, hey, we'd like to have you here, and it's like, I can't make it. So, again, I'm a scheduled guy, especially with my responsibilities that I have right now at the police department. If I can write it on my calendar and be there, you have my word, I will be there.
I'm a
Absolutely.
calendar person too.
Yeah.
Does the school board have any other issues with this MOU besides the monetary?
We haven't had a chance, I've had a chance to dive into it, I don't know about the full board. Again, we were just presented to it on Wednesday. Board members have had a chance to look at it, but as a full board, we have not had a chance to discuss.
Have you had any issues with it besides the monetary?
So there are a couple of things I'm looking at, and it's more of wanting to hear from the rest of my other board members about what we want. What are your wants? What are the district's wants?
Okay.
Would it be helpful for the city and the school board to get together?
We have our meeting on the 3rd, so if you have the ability
But
to
that's a
come
work
in,
session.
that's a work session.
Does that mean it's an open meeting?
It's open, yep. So
Okay,
anytime the full board is there, it's an open meeting.
okay, because
So-
right now we're just, it's he said, she said kind of a thing, and it'd be
Mhm.
nice to just, but I can't come,
Yeah.
but,
So no, we publish our meeting, just like you guys, we publish our meetings, and anytime the full board is there, it's an open meeting, it's recorded, all those things. So no, I haven't had no conversations with any other board members about what I read, what I've discussed, other than what we discussed at our original meeting, and that was that we want to pursue an SRO program, but the monetary cost right now is prohibitive. So we
That's
have
the
to
first
come up
thing
with
you
something.
see.
And also, yeah. that's the
Where
first
is
thing.
this meeting?
It's at the middle school.
How often do you guys meet? Sorry.
We meet once a month, and right now we have 2 meetings in December. We have a work session, and then we'll have our regular scheduled board meeting the following Wednesday.
okay, so that'd be December 10th.
So December 10th is our regular board meeting.
I could come to that.
So yeah, so we'll have our work session on the 3rd, and the work session is exclusively to discuss the MOU.
And everybody has a copy of where we're starting.
Well, that's the ticket right there, December 10th at 6 o'clock.
No, December 10th is 7 o'clock. That's our regular board meeting. The meeting that's specifically about the MOU is on the 3rd,
Okay,
At
Okay.
6 o'clock.
okay,
6 o'clock. Yep, we're meeting earlier on that one.
Okay.
because it's gonna be a long meeting? No, I'm kidding.
Well, I mean, it's, because normally we have our normal business, just like a normal city council, we have all our business to get to. And so we were presented this, I think, on the Monday or Tuesday before our meeting. So we had an opportunity to review it. I reviewed it that morning before the meeting. And then at the meeting, it was discussed, like, okay, we have this, but, we cannot meet this financial obligation. So what's our next step? And our next step was, well, we need to have a meeting internally to decide what, are we willing to move on from that 40? Where are we at? But that was one of our original, and it is a philosophical thing of, we don't want to pay more for this than we do for teachers.
Well, it looks like year one would probably be okay. It's just that when we get to year 2 and 3
Mhm.
and 4, we're really in trouble, so.
Well, then that means year one's in trouble.
Mhm. Exactly, yeah, I mean, if we can't pay for, and we don't wanna do something that's, we're interested in a long-term partnership. We're not interested in a one-year Band-Aid. We wanna build a successful program. That's what we're after as a school district.
And that's what, like,
Mhm.
from a grant standpoint and the money that we receive, that is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Is to build a program that's sustainable.
Which is why they've got it as a 4-year program.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Just, Greg,
Yeah.
this sounds like this money thing, what would that take away from your force? I mean, it's gotta affect you somehow to make this happen.
The city as a whole in general, absolutely.
And is there a way, I'm not asking for that answer right now because I just said it, but is there a way to find out how that affects, making this happen, how does it affect the force? Is that the way to word that?
Yeah, it makes sense. Are you talking like in terms of like financial or personnel wise?
Personnel.
Personnel, well, it's my mission to get an SRO program up and running and then backfill that spot with a patrol officer. That's what I'm looking to do.
So someone might get a diminished role or even let go?
Well, the city council voted a while ago for the police department to maintain a minimum staffing of 7 police officers.
Does that include you?
Yeah.
Okay, so somehow something's gotta give.
Yeah.
What would give would
I'm not
be
sure
the
what-
24/7 patrolling,
I would never
go that.
I would never entertain that, no.
But if you're required to do 7, where do you go?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Is that a good question?
Yep, that is the most important.
The friction here is,
Serious conversation that needs to be
Okay.
had with the council is how do we as a city sustain it long-term? Not relying on the school.
right,
Because again, they have limited resources, as do we.
right.
So, what it comes down to is how are we gonna fund it? And the potential of a public safety levy, increase in taxes,
All those things people love.
things that people don't wanna talk about, but
Sure.
we talked about.
You go back 3 years ago, though, it was spoken about. Jim Bushnell used to say it until he was blue in the face, is that the city's never increased taxes. It's one of those things. Nobody wants to do it, but.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
If we wanna maintain the 24/7 coverage with adequate coverage, then, I mean, is it important enough to the people to vote in a public safety levy to
Right.
make sure that they're funded?
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll just say right now, even at full staff, it still feels like we're short-staffed.
Well, it's the same number of officers you've had since 1985?
Yeah, we're maintaining the same amount, if not more, calls in other departments here with 14 officers. We're maintaining the same call volume, maybe a higher call volume and same caseload, if not more, than other departments with larger staff. This is with 7 guys.
Wow.
And I mean, a lot of felony cases, they're stretched pretty thin. And then at
Already.
the end of the day, too, guys need vacation, guys need to travel, they need to go to training.
Training is a big one.
That's a big one, yep.
Huge.
Okay, I think where we are now is, it's up to the school board. Let's get the school board
I think
feedback.
that I can't go, I got Parks Board, but I think someone needs to go to that meeting.
I would like to go, if
I'd
you
love
can
for
go
you to go.
too, or do you wanna go
I would
too,
like
or-
to go as well. I don't think, I think I should be able to. I was gonna have cataract surgery,
Oh,
which limited how much time I have to spend in lights, but,
yeah.
I canceled it till there's no snow on the ground.
I would too.
Well, they're like correcting lenses. You have to go like every other week. It's like,
Plus,
no.
when it snows, things are a lot brighter when the sun's out.
Yeah, and distorting.
And they're light
Yeah.
correcting lenses, so you can't do that.
Upwards glare?
Apparently, so, I'll put it on my schedule to go.
Yeah,
It's not a planning board week, so I'm good.
I
Yeah.
guess one more question about the
I think it's
MOU.
important, yeah.
Was the MOU, I know it was done in haste, because you had what is, it was, the MOU we used, was it a template? Or, because you're saying that Columbus and Yellowstone counties aren't quite as rigid, but was that a template that we just kind of used to get it going?
Yes, so Greg actually had, done some research and he found an MOU, from Townsend
Mhm.
that he liked the setup of, and so we used that as our template to move forward, and then we obviously changed it a bit to
Yeah.
make sure that we met all the requirements of the grant.
Okay.
Do you have time to go to this meeting next Wednesday at 6?
If need be, I can, but I think.
Or
we'll
Greg?
talk-
You'll be there?
Yeah, for sure, one of us or both of us will be there.
December 3rd, 6.
Yep.
Is the mayor, when's
Put it
the
on your
mayor
schedule.
back in
Yeah.
town? When's
Perfect.
the mayor
What
get
day is
back in?
December 3rd?
Wednesday.
The Wednesday.
Ooh, no, I'm just
All of
kidding.
our
Yeah.
meetings are Wednesdays.
I got you.
Wednesdays.
Yeah.
And I looked at my
Wednesday's meeting
email and I
day,
couldn't
whatever
find the
works.
attachment
You
for
just
that, but
blank
maybe
it out.
Mhm.
I'll show you after the
Yeah, that's
meeting,
doing
That's
EMS,
like-
it was Wednesdays,
'Cause I don't know-
Wednesdays.
where it is in my email.
I can always-
but
Well,
I read the minutes though.
I'm glad you came.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sincerely
yes,
appreciate
yes.
the input.
Yeah, no, we're
Simple.
excited about it. We definitely we wanna build something that's gonna work. We wanna build something that's gonna last.
And in today's atmosphere with the problems that they're having with teenage suicides and
Mhm.
stuff that maybe the chief sees all the time, but we don't, it would be really, really smart of us to get ahead of it as opposed to being reactive.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And good work, and congratulations on writing the grant
Yes.
and getting it approved.
That was 100% tonight.
That's all, it's huge, and we'll figure out how to blend it to make it work together,
I
so.
think everybody really wants to make it happen, and that
So that should,
the city's absolutely willing to work with the school to make it happen too, so.
Yeah.
we just need to
We just
figure
need to-
out.
We just need the time to sit down and talk about it,
Yes.
because we haven't had to. It was like very thrown.
Gotta do it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easier to edit when you have something to look at.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
having the
starting point.
funding is a
Yep,
blessing,
exactly.
yeah.
Okay, well, we don't have a whole lot of time left. Let's go on to the Parks Board,
I'll get out of your
oh,
hair.
Parks
Thank you
and
very much.
Tobacco,
Thank you.
vaping, thank you.
Oh, my goodness.
I went to
Thank
Montana
you.
Code Annotated.
Thank you, Matt.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Thanks, Matt.
You were really helpful to be here, Matt.
I went to Montana Code Annotated, and they never referred to the term vaping. They used the term, which I've included in one of these.
Smoking and feeling.
I know, I did two different ones. One, I called it smoking, and it had to have tobacco use because that's chaw, you know.
Chop.
Gee, we don't have anybody from Hauser today.
That's what, that's what
I know.
Dan said. That's the first thing I said.
I'm feeling
Where's
neglected.
everybody? Like, give it up.
And see, MCA, 5040-103 refers to the definition of smoking or to smoke, includes the act of lighting, smoking, or carrying a lighted cigar, cigarette, pipe, or any smokable product, and includes the use of marijuana. So that's what MCA says about the term smoking. And then, when it came to vaping, they gave it initials.
The ends, or no,
It
that's
was the Indoor Act, I think, is what they started to. Indoor Act, was that the one? Anyway, so, dealing with 884, which will need a new one probably.
Well, she'll be, hopefully she'll be here in 2 weeks, and
What I'd like to do is have us agree on something and then send it over to her before she gets
that's
here,
right.
rather than surprise her.
what's there to agree on? I guess I'm foggy,
Well, I took the ordinance that
Yeah.
we have and changed it.
right? I got that right here.
Isn't it funny? Okay, that's the resolution. Resolution is easy. We'll do the resolution no matter what the header is.
Okay.
We're talking about electronic delivery system. Electronic nicotine delivery system is what I picked up.
Okay.
And maybe that's the safest term.
The most comprehensive?
Well, yeah, because we don't know what they're gonna come up with next.
Mm-hmm.
But the bottom line is it is an electronic nicotine delivery system.
What do you think, Ann? I like that, but
Either way, we need the definition within the ordinance. So, I had done tobacco use / smoking. But then smoking, I included, well, let's start with the definition and then we'll come up with the headers. Smoking includes inhaling and exhaling the fumes of tobacco or something similar to tobacco, or the act of lighting, smoking, or carrying a lighted cigar, cigarette, pipe, or any smokable product, including any electronic device, including but not limited to electronic cigarettes that can deliver inhaled doses of nicotine by delivering a vaporized solution. And then I did tobacco use includes any product that can be smoked or chewed. So that's why I had the header as tobacco use / smoking.
okay, so I do like the definitions. I mean,
So-
it might be,
So the definitions, I think, are really important for this ordinance to define what we're talking about. And if we continue to use tobacco use / smoking, then we're fine.
so instead of, okay, so comparably, we're looking at either tobacco use / smoking, or this tobacco use, or tobacco use and nicotine.
Delivery system,
Okay, and, okay,
nicotine delivery system, yeah, or nicotine products. Maybe the products and nicotine products might be the way to go. Actually, they're all
instead of
nicotine.
tobacco.
Actually, they're all nicotine products.
So restricting tobacco use and nicotine products.
Well,
So
that's
you're
where
leaning
I'm
towards
kind of,
this one?
I'm kind of thinking nicotine products.
Yeah, because smoking could be smoking marijuana, and if we're not addressing that, then it's
Well,
too
they're not-
vague.
Marijuana is taken care of.
Yeah, so maybe we should stick with the nicotine instead of smoking.
So restricting nicotine use in city parks
And facilities,
and yeah, we dropped the word recreational.
yeah.
Ann, where are you on that? Nicotine use, does that,
yeah,
that carries everything, doesn't it?
yeah, yes. But I was at, I was at the, state thing, and they use the word vapes. They do, so they are acknowledging vape, the vaping, or vape. So
It's not in their, MCA. I pulled one from 2015 and one from 2023,
okay.
and they
well,
never mention the word vape.
Okay, all right, I thought I saw the word,
And that's where I was going, is what does the state use, so we can start
Sure.
with that.
you know, steal from them.
Yeah, I like the electronic nicotine delivery systems, because like you said, whatever else they develop or come up with, and it kind of protects us there. But I think like this one with the tobacco and nicotine products and city parks and facilities, but include the definition from this one over
Right.
here.
Inhaled doses of nicotine by delivering a vaporized solution. The question is on the header, an ordinance of the city of Red Lodge restricting, what if we just said nicotine use?
Tobacco.
and city-
Oh,
Dropping tobacco and
Tobacco.
smoking, and just going to nicotine use in city parks. Is there nicotine in those, energy drinks?
oh gosh. I thought it was like taurine.
Boy, you're talking to the wrong person.
I know, me too, I'm like.
Hey, Patty, go buy one,
There's-
and we'll read the label.
I think my
I think
sister
it-
died because of those drinks.
Oh, 'cause
She
the-
died?
What it does to your heart.
Oh,
Yeah.
a jolt to the heart, yeah.
Oh, she loved her
Which brand
She loved her rock stars.
That's a good question. If, I
don't know if it has nicotine, but
a
it
lot of
has,
caffeine,
like,
I would just,
and
I
taurine
don't know.
is like,
They have to
Maybe
have
it's caffeine.
a warning if it had nicotine.
I think you have to
But
be 18
Apparently
to buy
there's
it, right?
nicotine-free vaping.
So just for the inhalation, so you can inhale clean air.
Look cool.
I'm gonna look up, the taurine or whatever.
I was looking at nicotine pouches,
drink.
smokeless
I
nicotine.
think it might be caffeine,
pouch.
right?
I think you're right about that.
Taurine and caffeine.
I think the problem that we have with vaping is it looks like you're smoking. And the whole idea of this ordinance is so that kids don't see people smoking, right? Isn't that the whole idea?
Yeah.
And with cigarettes, of course, you know, they're dropping them on the ground and all of that.
Mhm.
But I think the whole idea is parks have kids, and we don't want kids to get used to people
See them
smoking.
smoking and,
Whether there's tobacco or nicotine or whatever, we don't want them smoking
and littering.
and littering.
Which is identified in here in the ordinance.
Yes, it's it's the last whereas. Parents, adult leaders, others involved in recreation serve as role models for youth. So, I keep going back to the term smoking.
Smoking, oh, yeah.
They say there's,
what do you
people are
think?
smoking more in movies now, which is kind of going away from, they were getting away from it. Now it's just, they're just doing it. So
Coming
that-
back.
talk about detrimental is watching, you know, stars smoking and
Hmm.
I'm sure the tobacco companies got to them, but anyway.
Well, I
Yeah,
know
they
that
must
there's a law against it being on commercials.
Yeah.
For now,
For
until
now.
the publicizers.
So should we
Spot
go
out.
back to tobacco use and smoking? In other words, let's get away from the nicotine thing, because,
Well, that's what it has right here, tobacco use and smoking, right? Okay,
so we're okay with that.
yeah.
Okay, so let's.
Okay, so we're going back to tobacco use.
Yeah, and smoking, and then we have the definitions.
I like that.
And, after the definitions, we already got rid of recreational facilities. And under 1, we were at tobacco use and smoking shall be prohibited within all city parks and facilities, period. That's 1. Oh, and then parks and facilities and within 20 feet of all, and within 20 feet,
Did you take out the word designated parks?
yes.
Okay,
So what I have for 1 and 2, tobacco use and smoking shall be prohibited within all city parks and facilities and within 20 feet of such.
Okay, so we're combining, okay.
Does that make sense?
I think so.
I don't like the word such, but,
Yeah, such, yeah.
okay, so that narrows it down a bit, but changes nothing. So number 3 is really now number 2. Tobacco use or smoking as part of a performance such as a play or Native American blessing or used within a motorized vehicle are exempt from the ordinance. And 3, fines should be set by city council.
Okay,
I'm gonna clean this up.
that's to me, okay, that's good.
okay, let's go, since you don't like such, that means that somebody on the council won't like such. Let's go back to such and find another word. Can you read that to me again, how you have it?
Tobacco use and smoking shall be prohibited within all city parks and facilities and within 20 feet of such.
Of,
Do we have to do,
Perimeter or something?
do we want to say 20 feet of parks and facilities?
I would just repeat it, I would repeat it. Why
It's
not?
better than
These
such.
things repeat stuff, yeah, but this is, someone's gonna say, well, what's such? I mean,
Okay.
just,
It
we can
doesn't just roll off the tongue, does it?
Yeah. That's not a great word.
Okay, I'll clean that up.
Okay.
And then, the resolution we'll stick with tobacco use and smoking. That's good enough. And for some reason, we had Resolution 3309. It said, the first whereas has 50-40-104.
Yes.
There's 103. 50-40. And it's true, 50-40-104 provides guidance prohibiting smoking tobacco in enclosed public spaces. I don't know why we need to refer to that. Why should we refer to something that's enclosed? I don't know.
Oh, indoor versus outdoor?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know why we're referring to this.
because we're not addressing anything inside public space.
No, so I'm not sure why we would have that.
Good point.
Well, then, why are we having Aaron Cross here next week? Because the whole new thing is about enclosed public spaces.
I have no idea.
So
I
we're
wasn't-
just talking about the outside.
I wasn't the one that invited her or contacted her, and it's all about the indoor air. It's all about the new clean indoor.
I think she contacted us.
Indoor air.
It's been a long time, but I think she contacted us.
And I think it's good to be educated on what it is, and while we're, So it's closed?
Why don't indoor
The
things
exterior?
affect us, involve us?
Why don't?
Yeah.
Because there's already an MCA on
state
it.
code.
There's already state
Well,
code.
but.
Why would we double up on state code?
And it's not to do with the city parks or facilities, right?
Well,
'Cause
we're
it's just
looking at parks and
exterior.
facilities. And so,
The outside.
and then she's in charge of the protocol for Carbon County. And I went ahead and printed out MCA, the same one, that is the Montana Clean Indoor Air Act. Stop that.
I think we were trying to get similar verbiage to be on the same page from the changes in the state level for the indoor
Well, the
enclosed
Indoor Act
spaces.
has a zillion definitions: bar, department, enclosed public space, and under that was restaurants, stores, public and private office buildings, trains, buses, public transportation, healthcare facilities, auditoriums, arenas, maybe arenas, and assembly facilities, meeting rooms, bars, community college, facilities of the Montana University system, public schools. Then it goes to a definition for establishment, and then incidental to the service of alcoholic beverage and gambling operations is the definition. And all it
How do
has,
we exact fines if we don't have a resolution, though? I'm foggy today, I guess, but.
well, the Clean Indoor Act is all covered. So all we want to do is cover the outside.
For city.
For
Yeah,
city.
for the city.
Because this is we don't have to do anything for that, for the inside,
Okay,
because the chief is covered.
all right.
Okay, so you want to remove the first whereas?
Well, it seems that why don't we wait and see what Aaron says?
I think
Okay?
that'd be a great idea, Sandy, because she's the one who invited herself and.
If she invited herself, then we'll let her know what we're doing.
Yeah, and what we think, and she'll say, you're right on.
Right on. You're right there.
But it won't hurt us to wait 2 weeks.
No.
And I hope she comes because it's been postponed.
She's been very busy.
And sick.
So
So,
the second whereas, all we did is tobacco/smoking use.
right,
Tobacco use/smoking, slash goes here. Has been identified as the causes of lung cancer and other health problems. This resolution sets the fine. And I just did, penalty fines, first and subsequent offenses, $100. How's that? Was that easy?
yes, I think that's nice to do it.
Okay.
One size fits all, I love it.
I'm going to change the ordinance for what our discussion was.
Okay, so,
And I'm going to provide one with all the changes underlined and crossed off. and then one that's clean. How's that? Be
Good.
easier to read.
Yeah.
I'm surprised these things don't talk about secondhand smoke and its dangers, but I don't want to belabor this because it's time to go, but,
Yeah,
but secondhand smoke is,
deadly.
it's a big freaking deal.
That indoor act was really, to me, really important, and
Yeah.
I was happy to be done with it. Nothing worse than going to Vegas and walking in where they're smoking.
Oh, yeah.
They allow smoking in Vegas? I've
Yeah.
never been to Vegas, so I don't know.
Yeah, inside,
In the casinos, you can smoke.
yeah.
I did remember that. I lived there, and I did not remember that.
My daughter lived there, too.
Yeah.
But they do have
believe
non-smoking tables now, where at the table itself, but if you're playing a slot machine, somebody can pull up next to you and smoke away. And then there are dirty ashtrays, as much as they try to keep them clean, everywhere.
And on
I can't believe that. I just had no idea. Okay,
on the ordinance 884, it says, whereas, tobacco use in the proximity of children, youth, and adults engaging in or watching recreational activities is detrimental to their health. So kind of addresses that.
yeah.
My best friend lost her mom to secondhand smoke, and she was not a smoker, and she died when she was 11, so.
Who died when she was 11? Who died?
Danny's mom, one of my best friends, her mom died of secondhand smoke. Yeah.
Oh,
And
not
Danny
when
was
she
only
was
11,
but
yeah,
Danny was
as a
11.
child.
I thought the
Yeah.
11-year-old died.
Yeah, I mean, I
No.
thought that's,
The parents should be
It
arrested.
really happened, yeah. Well, yeah, she didn't smoke, she wasn't a smoker, her dad wasn't either, but
Yeah. I've lived with
So-
smokers, I don't like it.
it does kind of address it there and the detrimental, to their health. Okay, so we've got those two, and then, I did review the minutes, so I motioned to approve your minutes.
I would second
that.
okay.
I thought I
Unanimous.
had, and I had not.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
I think that we did pretty good today.
Um,
And it
Well, I
will-
think that was I didn't know Matt was coming, and I wish I'd been a little more prepared, but.
I didn't know he was coming too. I heard from a source about a year ago that they would never, ever allow an SRO in school.
Well, they're bending.
So I think that they're working towards
I would love to go to that meeting. I don't know what the Parks Board agenda is. I'll check and see, but, I just want to love to hear what they're thinking. What's their thinking?
that's what,
I think
and
that's-
as much as, yeah, I don't agree that a teacher is the same as a police officer who's risking his life.
Well, I could argue that, I think.
But I can understand that from their standpoint, but the question is a second-year teacher, how much are they making?
right?
More
The
than 40,000.
first is 39,000 or whatever.
No wonder why
Second-
no wonder why our teachers have no place to live. $40,000?
It's terrible.
Yeah,
It is.
Go to Wyoming, you'll get 75 to start.
that's where a couple of them have.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know when the conversation started with the SRO and the grant application, but I'd like to see the grant requirements or whatever, so we know what's supposed to be met. I'd like to, because that's what we're upheld to for this.
Well,
That's the
why
reason we
I
got
was hoping that
125K.
Danae- I mean, we can see here that what the federal share is. So
Okay.
the first year, it's 62,000.
I'd like to,
I'm just
what
saying,
city
yeah,
did they,
the-
was it Columbus? It was SRO, MOU, Columbus?
Well, Yellowstone County and
I'd
Columbus,
like to
right?
read
They
those
like-
and compare them.
Well, Danae pulled Townsend, and they felt that Townsend was as close as possible. Yep, if Columbus doesn't have a grant for an SRO, then they're really short MOU, it's fine. And same with Yellowstone County, that they may not need the grant in order to have an SRO.
Right?
Yeah,
And I'm guessing that Townsend did,
it did have a grant. Well, I'll look into that too, because it's interesting, but,
because the grant has more restrictions
stipulations, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
than just a school board.
Yep.
and a city putting it together.
So we have to,
We
meet
adjourning?
those needs.
Yes, I think that
I'm
we're
gonna
going
turn
to
off this
officially adjourn.
green button.
Thank you.
Thank you, meeting adjourned?
Thank you, meeting adjourned.